there's no way. I'm already still burning. So hold me close, now baby. I do what I'm told, still learning to take my chances, to take my time, to keep on dancing, to walk that line, yeah. You got me shifting the paradigm, no longer wishing. You're my lucky strike, love the way you ride, look into my eyes, say you're ready to go. $1 million life, yeah. We could roll the dice, act like you're surprised, but you already know. Oh yeah, got lucky overnight, jackpot when I got the invite. Let me wrap my arms around you, cause I can't go home without you. And my heart just vibe with you, babe. Wanna go sky high with you, babe. Gotta bring you close to tell you that you're my lucky strike. And I got to tell you, if you didn't know, then I got to tell you that you're my lucky strike. And I got to tell you, if you didn't know, then I got to tell you that you're my lucky strike. Cooler than cold, I'm all in. So load up the dice, so heavy. The way that you roll, I'm falling. So I never fall. I'm ready to take my chances, to take my time, to keep on dancing, to walk that line, yeah. You got me shifting the paradigm, no longer wishing. You're my lucky strike, yeah. Love the way you ride, look into my eyes, say you're ready to go. $1 million life, yeah. We could roll the dice, yeah. Act like you surprised, but you already know.
Well, folks, you know you're in for a treat when you hear that tune, because it's time for another week of the RecPoker podcast. I'm so excited to be here, just like I am every week, because I've got the best freaking job in the world. I get to hang out with my poker friends and talk about poker every Monday night, live on the air here on YouTube at 7:30 Eastern. Folks can show up for free every week here on the RecPoker podcast. And if you show up and you get involved in the chat, you can even win a prize just for showing up. I see we've already got some people getting active in the chat. My friendly poker nemesis, Phil, is here and wants to be given credit for being here on time. And Hawk Plays, he knows it's dance party time when the podcast starts, because we got that awesome groove and tune from Peter Trulin that we just can't help but move around and shake our booty a little bit too when it comes on. So yes, aptly put. Hawk Plays, that's right, dance party time every Monday night here on the RecPoker podcast. That's enough about that, though. We've got an exciting guest tonight, Garry Gates, November Niner, and he's also got a bunch of other exciting things about him, but you're gonna have to wait for the podcast interview to hear about that. We've got some exciting news coming up. There's a meetup game, there's a meetup breakfast, there's a heads up series. We're still running our 100K studios, a leaderboard event. So there's just like a lot going on. Why don't we start the podcast officially like we normally do? I see I'm getting the look from the people in the panel here like, hey, Jim, kind of get on with a little. So why don't I? Well, my name's Jim Reed. Like I said, I've got the best job in the world. I'm Bluff Sterini in the RecPoker home games and at RecPoker Jim on Twitter. But I am just one of the folks here involved in what we do here at RecPoker. I'm on the wrecking crew, just like all these other wreckers. And if you want to learn more about me and the rest of the wrecking crew, you can go to rec.poker/crew. But you can just listen up, because you're going to meet a few of them here on the air tonight.
Well, I'm Chris Jones. You can find me 5B5 on Twitter, 5x5 in the Poker Stars home game. And I don't know who let Phil into the chat or who reminded him. I thought we had agreed we weren't going to do that anymore.
We need to capture his tears, you might remember
Fair
from an
enough.
earlier episode. So this is how part of how we do that. And who else
And
have we
I'm
got joining us tonight? Yeah.
and I'm Joe Coolis. You can find me at Joe Cool PhD, cool with a K, or LB11 in the home game.
And I'm Rob Washam, and I'm Rabman50, just about everywhere.
So we are going to be having our interview with Garry Gates. I'm excited for that. Unfortunately, Gary's feeling a little under the weather this week. And as does happen from time to time, he wasn't able to make the recording session tonight. So if you're here in the YouTube chat, don't worry. You're still going to get a chance to win a prize in our food bank drive, a raffle that we do at the end of every show. And if you have any questions for Garry, please just type them into the YouTube chat right now, and I'll make sure to jot them down and ask the man himself when I speak to him a little later this week. And I'll give you full credit for your excellent ideas. I just must tell you that we're not going to steal credit for that. If you come up with a good question, you're going to get full credit for it with Garry Gates when we get to talk about him. But I do want to mention a couple things that are really exciting. So on June 28th, the MGM Grand is hosting the RecPoker meetup game. This is our very first Las Vegas meetup game. It's going to start at 6 o'clock. It's the day there is a good tournament that day that starts earlier in the morning. Their late reg closes at 5, and I think their re-entry closes at 5. So if you're in Vegas for that part of June, and if you get unlucky early in that tournament that you're playing, please come on by and join us. It's going to be a fantastic time. We're playing 2 to 3 tables of 1-3. Buy-in's $100 a minimum, but the buy-in's uncapped at the MGM, they tell me. So you can sit in for as little as 100, or you can stack up some chips and cause some real trouble. That's going to be a super fun time. More details about that coming out, but I think we're going to have some really fun friends joining the show as well, joining the meetup game as well. So that'll be a fun time to get involved.
Do people have to fight to be at your table so they can try to
That's where the easy money is.
Right?
I mean, I would just say first come, first served is really the best way to approach that. Get on the list. I want to play at Jim's table. Come and scoop up some of those set ones from earlier. Yeah, so I'm really excited about that. And if you do want to get on the list, just send me an email, jim@rec.poker, and I'm going to be handling the list there for the MGM gang. And that's going to be super fun on the 28th. If you're not in town for the 28th, we're going to do a meetup breakfast at the Lux Cafe, which is at the Venetian there. That one's going to be a lot of fun. That's the week earlier on June 22nd. It's the morning of the tag team, day 1. So if you're in Vegas for the tag team, feel free to come down and join me and whoever else feels like it for breakfast. Again, you can go to rec.poker/events, and you'll see the entire calendar of events for the month of June, and you'll see some of the stuff on there.
And these are poker players you're talking to, so that could mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. What time is breakfast, Jim?
Yeah, that's a great point. Well, the tournaments all start at 10. And so I wanted to give people a chance to kind of have a bit of a leisurely breakfast. I'm going to be there from 8 till 10. And if folks want to swing by for any portion of that, they're welcome to. I'm just going to be sipping on coffee and, tweeting and that kind of thing, waiting for the tournament to start. The nice thing about the tag team is even if I'm playing in it, then I can stick around and get comfortable and relax with people at the breakfast table, and my partner can get started and I can come and swing in for after an orbit or something like that. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. Yeah, I don't expect a lot of people to be there at 8, but I just I'll get there at 8. I'll get the coffee flowing, and people are welcome to join anytime. I'll be booting out of there around 10 though, because I want to play in that tag team event. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. So the meetup breakfast on the 22nd, the meetup game on the 28th. I also have to mention before we get into the interview, this Saturday is the Heads Up series, which is a fantastic way to win your way into Marek Madness. Maybe we'll have a few more details about that after the home game announcements. And I also want to point out that every Tuesday night, you can still win points on our leaderboard. Every Tuesday night in the RecPoker home game, 100K Studios is putting together a prize at the end of each month. So at the end of June and at the end of July, the Tuesday night players with the most points in the leaderboard for making it to the final table are going to be entered into a qualifying tournament where you could win a $1,000 entry into a Run Good event package later this summer. So that's pretty exciting. So I think, folks, this is going to be one of those ones where Renz Isidro and Roger Schutte are going to help us out behind the scenes as we throw to an interview that hasn't happened yet. And then we'll be right back here to talk about some exciting home game results and everything else that's going on in Rec Poker Land. So, in just a moment, the one and only Garry Gates. And we're back, folks. Another great interview. I always enjoy talking to Garry. We joke a lot after these remote interviews, like, oh, well, that was a fantastic interview, maybe our best yet. I have spoken to Garry several times. He is a really fun and interesting guy, and I'm sure we're going to tease some cool stuff out of there. I do know they've got some pretty exciting plans over at poker.org that we can get involved with as Rec Poker members. I think that'll be pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to hearing the interview that you all heard just now. Hopefully we'll have some exciting stuff coming out of that. Joe, you unmuted. What's on your mind these days?
I was just impressed with the alliteration that he did throughout the interviews. So
It's amazing. I mean, it would be hard for anyone to start that many words in a row with the letter G. But Garry Gates, he's used to it. He's used to stringing them along.
I was really impressed that all your questions were in verse, Jim.
I worked on that.
Yeah,
and iambic
good,
pentameter
good,
as well.
good.
Like there was a real rigor involved.
Yeah. I can't wait to revisit those.
What did you think of the interpretive dance number? Because I thought that was pretty highbrow, really.
It was good.
I thought,
it was good.
Yeah, good. I'm glad. Because like there was some concerns in rehearsal about whether that would come across, in the way that it was intended. But I knew it was a sophisticated bunch here. I wasn't surprised.
Your head bobbing was reductive and blithe, so I just don't think it was worth it.
Well, what do you say, folks? Why don't we talk about some recent home game winners, and then we'll get into some other exciting things that are coming up down the pike. We'll do our food bank drive. So I see we've got a lot of folks getting active in the YouTube chat, which is what we love to see here. You can start typing the words food bank in right now, and we will make sure to roll the magic die that Chris has, the magic nerdy die, and we'll see who the winner is going to be. So I'll start going through some home game results because John Somsky, he is all things, but he is not omnipresent and couldn't make it to the show tonight. So I'm going to do my part and see if we can wade through here without getting interrupted more than 3 or 6 times. On June 7th, this is the No Limit Hold'em Championship Series. This is the first Wednesday of every month. The winner was Bagman723, so congratulations. That gives you some serious points on our own annual Player of the Year leaderboard, Player of the Year race, points race rather. So congratulations on the win. Our mixed game champion is our mixed game is this week. So if you're listening live on a Wednesday night, you can still get into our monthly series mixed game. Which one is that? I believe that's Limit 08 this month. But you can check all that information out at rec.poker/home games. In the nightly events, on June 5th, Frogman Rick, who's private, whose name is private, he's actually not that private. And I'll go out on a limb and say that his name is Rick, and you probably know him if you're a regular listener to the podcast. So congratulations, Rick, way to go. On June 6th, K-Poker Wannabe, who has been on a roll lately, that's Ron Payton. He's won a few times in the last couple of weeks, and he also won the May 100K Studios leaderboard. So congratulations to Ron. Keep it up, man. On June 8th, Sooner Girl 45, who's private, but congratulations on your win. On June 9th, Ship and Flip Wreck, that's Luke O'Driscoll. And Luke is making waves, man. I think this is his 7th win this year and 9th all time, if I'm reading this correctly. And Luke is also the proud recipient of a few Rec Poker pins that I am mailing all the way to Australia. I think this is the furthest we've ever posted a pin. So Luke, congratulations on that dubious honor. And congratulations on continuing to kick butt here in the Rec Poker home games. On June 10th, Carl0621 private came through. Congratulations. On June 10th, Ship and Flip Wreck again. Luke O'Driscoll winning the mixed event on Saturday. So huge run by Luke. I'm starting to think this Luke O'Driscoll character might be pretty good at poker, folks. On the international series, we've got Larson's Opening, George Borton. who I think that's 2 weeks in a row he's come through with a win there. So congratulations to George. On June 10th, the afternoon international event was winner was Aces 54320, and everyone who listens regularly knows that's Kathy Chang. Kathy, if you're listening, congratulations. I hope we get a chance to connect while I'm in Vegas for the last half of June here. And the LPP Sunday event winner, BD Under. I'm not going to dox them this time, but congratulations, BD Under. You know how it goes. Send an email, please, to info@rec.poker, because just like every Sunday night winner, you have won a free month at Learn Pro Poker, and you are going to love it. So check that out. Send that email, info@rec.poker, and we'll hook you up with your free prize of a month at Learn Pro Poker. It's going to be fantastic. The Heads Up event, like I mentioned at the top of the show, is on June 17th. That's this Saturday. That's going to be at 2 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Central, or as John Somsky likes to say, 1 o'clock Central, the only time zone that matters. So there you go, John, just in case you're listening. I did not forget that Central is the only time zone that matters. And so I just want to remind folks, so this is a Heads Up bracket. It's a ladder tournament. There's no late registration, so you have to be registered before the tournament starts. It's going to set up with a series of heads up brackets, and it's winner take all single elimination. So you'll work your way through the cream of RecPoker's heads up stable, and the winner of these quarterly events, there's one in June, September, and December, will win their way into Marek Madness, which will be here every year in Marek, or March, as some people like to refer to it. So those are the home game results. Congratulations to all our amazing winners. Why don't we see who's won our prize today, and then we can talk about a couple more events that are coming up and wrap this baby out of here. So Chris, I see some more. I should never look away from the YouTube chat, because I look back and I've missed all this fun stuff going on right under my nose. You got some fun comments in here from Joe and Ben and DJ and even Phil. Even Phil cracks a joke every once in a while. It's amazing. It's amazing. Even what's the expression, Chris? Even a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. Even a broken clock is right twice a day. That's why are we so hard on Phil? He is generally a nice guy. I guess he just invites it with.
I mean, he is. Yeah, he's kind of mean to us.
Yeah, that's probably why. All right. So I see in the food bank order, Hawk plays, Phil, Luke, Gibber, and Joe. Are those the ones that you see as well? That is what
I see as well.
5, so you know what that means.
You got to roll the boxcar, and it means I re-roll with a 6 and re-roll with a 2, right? No,
yeah, that seems fair. I think that's the right way to do it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. We got to get those tears. We got to get those tears out of Phil somehow. Let's see how it looks.
Phil's right. He's not mean to me. I just I'm protective. It's a 6, so I'm re-rolling.
Re-roll.
It's another 6. Wow.
Uh-oh. Not a third 6, Chris. You know what that means.
That is a third 6.
Oh, okay. So that's funny. It's the same as my flight number.
Well, it goes 6, 6, 6, and then a 2. So
wow. All right. Well, I mean, I guess that clock, it's striking midnight.
Yep. Here we go, Phil. Congratulations. You are
Congratulations, Phil.
Not bamboozled. Not bamboozled.
Yeah, there was no bamboozling. There was no bamboozling at all. Oh, Martha. Oh my God, we got a comment here in the YouTube chat. This is from Martha. She says, I like Phil. He's funny. Oh man. Phil is never gonna let me ride that one down now. That's my mom there in the YouTube chat officially saying that Phil is funny.
Phil endorsed.
Man. Phil endorsed. Yeah, exactly. Martha Reed, Phil endorsement. That is, boy, she doesn't know just how deep that knife goes. She has also said in the past that Kim is her favorite panelist, just for the record.
Yeah, I mean,
like I'm right here.
Who else?
I'm right here, Mom.
Who else would it
I mean, come on. I mean, she does get pretty sick of me after a while, I think. But how cool is that, Martha Reed? Thanks for joining the show every week, Mom. So sweet. All right. Joe Coolis, you've got a session coming up, don't you? I think every month on the third Thursday of the month, you get to take people behind the curtain into the poker psyops group. What do you have lined up, and what are you excited about?
I don't know yet, actually.
That is your privilege.
Since this comes out after it occurs, it doesn't really matter because nobody will hear it.
That's true.
No,
yeah, if you're listening live, you've got a chance to join Joe on Thursday. But if you're listening to this when it comes out on Friday the 16th, you've got 30 days to that next one in July. Good point.
I do think that what I'd like to do this coming session is, I'm not that far from being pretty new at poker, or at least seriously taking poker. And I think there are lots of truisms that, particularly in terms of thinking about poker, that players who haven't been there for a while forget about. And when you're coming in, it's like, well, I have all these thoughts about things, and everybody else is leaning back saying, that's what I remember from 5 years ago when I was like you, ha ha ha. And you're kind of like, I still have to go through that, and so I might just talk a little bit about some of just a few basics. And again, I've always wanted this to be a little more interactive. So if there are new players out there, come on in, join the group for a while and sit and talk about some of these really early experiences, because I think that there are different ways that people react to them, that if you understand it better, it'll help smooth out some of the bumps along the way until you become the great Chris Jones and never have a bad thought about their poker game and is just a bot, answering all the time. So
that's basically what happens. Yep. That's the evolution. That's the evolution of a poker player.
I don't think you want me to be the highest form of evolution in the poker curve.
That's going to be great, man. I've really enjoyed it so far. It's a really interesting element to be bringing to our RecPoker members. So thanks for putting those together. I'm looking forward to the next one. Rob, we're working through the first couple chapters of GTO Poker Simplified by Darrow Carney and Barry Carter in the book club, or in the book study. How's that going so far?
Well, we had a real good session last Wednesday, the first Wednesday of June. We talked about what is GTO, and then we talked about how do we get exploited. So it was kind of interesting. There was a lot of interesting stuff there. And now, coming up on the third Wednesday of June, we're going to be talking about it was interesting statement about we make money with our value bets. Okay, value bets are the only way we make money. And everything else we do is in pursuit of winning money with our value bets. So all of the, people talk about bluffing all the time. Bluffing is exciting. Bluffing is, that's where everybody gets really into it. So look at that bluff, look at that bluff. But those bluffs are just there so that you actually do get paid when you make a value bet. So we're going to talk about all the different reasons why we bet and all the reasons why we are worried about frequencies. Everything in GTO is about frequencies. And so we have to know that everything we do is in concert with making money with our value bets. And that's what the next chapter is going to be all about. So it's going to be pretty interesting, I think.
That's awesome. Yeah, I always think we kind of get, as you say, we kind of get obsessed about bluffs and finding balance and that kind of thing. But in most spots, you don't actually need that many combos of bluffs in order to balance out a healthy value range. So I think I think that line, I really like that line you said, like the value hands should drive your profits in poker. That does make a lot of sense. Don't worry so much about weakening your strong ranges. Whatever. I'm not going to put words in your mouth. I'm looking forward to seeing how that develops. That does sound good. Chris, you're the man behind our deep dives every month. We've been building a we've been building a theme of the month as we go through the year. We're looking at some new themes coming up. What's the theme of the month in June? And what have you been working on in the lab?
Yeah, so I always get lost about which month I'm in because there's the month I've did and the month I'm working on and the month I'm in. But we're working on player reads and exploits and thinking about how we might make some adjustments. And we're getting ready for some of our to look at things like leak tracking and how do we kind of like figure out when we're making mistakes that we might, how do we even know that without having to like work with an expensive coach or have somebody figure it out for us? How do we do some of that ourselves? And we'll be taking a look at that a little bit as well coming up in the months ahead. And then we're going to start probably a journey through some tournament stages, looking at how we kind of progress through a tournament. We looked at it like how we progress through a hand. Now we're going to look through how we progress through a tournament in a subsequent monthly series.
I love it. Chris does such a good job putting these themes of the month together, building on each other so that as you get more steeped in the trading material here at RecPoker, you get a chance to kind of evolve the way that you think, not only from early stages right through the end stages of a tournament, but early stages of a hand right through the end. It's a great way to learn what to be focusing on at any given time. And I just love the way Chris does these play along sessions. So on the fourth Monday of every month, our RecPoker Premium members get together and they play a simulated poker tournament spot for about an hour, 90 minutes. This is something that Chris is able to capture everyone's hole cards with cards up for later review. And then Chris and Darrow Carney get together and they talk about some of the spots that came up. And our premium members get a chance to get some feedback from Darrow Carney and Chris Jones, specifically on how they can handle these particular spots. And Chris also puts a fantastic like seminar video together each month, kind of focusing on the key elements of the theme that month. I think it's one of the best things we do here. It's the deep dive. If you're considering giving RecPoker Premium a try, just give us a go. It only costs $5 for your first month of premium membership here at RecPoker. Use the code RecPoker at checkout. And then it is an arm and a leg, folks. It's $15 whole every month after that. That's 15. I know it's not small potatoes, but we think you're going to get a lot of value for that $15 a month. And you might have a good time with some of us if you give us a try in some of our premium stuff. I see we got some cool, we got a new friend from Niagara. Folks might know I had a great time in Niagara the other couple of weeks ago playing some cash games down there and bumped into a few fantastic people and padded the Vegas bankroll a little bit. So that's always good with WSOP right around the corner. So hello and thanks to our new Niagara friends. And I think, oh my God, did I mention that our podcast is sponsored by the Running Aces Hotel, Racetrack, and Casino? I might have skipped that at the top. So I should mention again, but we should give them two at the end, that it is the Running Aces Hotel, Racetrack, and Casino that we're so grateful for all their support and encouragement over the years. And I'm hoping we're going to get a chance to, yeah, there you go, Rob. Rob's repping the gear. Exactly. I'm hoping we're going to get a chance to head out there one day soon for another RecPoker weekend. I don't want to say, I can't say anything officially, but there are some irons in the fire.
We're working on it.
We're working on it. I miss it. I had to fly through there so briefly last time. It was like 48 hours on my way down to WSOP last year. So I'm hoping we can take a little more time and really relax and spend some time.
But stay tuned, right? Because there might be news soon about this. Hopefully.
I think there's going to be news very soon.
Okay.
Yeah. So check out the events page at RecPoker. Hopefully, if you're listening to the podcast, by next week we should have something fun to announce that might involve a trip to the Running Aces Hotel, Racetrack, and Casino. You never know. I'm hinting pretty well, but yeah, if you can read between the lines, you'll see that there might be something fun coming up down there a little bit once it's all confirmed. Yeah. Thanks, Joe. All right. Well, let me see. So Phil the stinker won the prize this week. So Phil, send that email, please. info@rec.poker. You've won an amazing prize. And thank you to our Stealth Niagara member who just signed up to be a YouTube subscriber. And I'd encourage folks, if you're listening to this at home, please do subscribe to the podcast on your provider. That helps us out a lot. I would love if you could leave a review or rate the podcast as well. It doesn't sound like it makes a big difference, but it makes a huge difference to us for people to be rating and reviewing it. Or like my new friend Stealth here, subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's another great way to help us out without spending a dime. And of course, I say, come get a free account over at RecPoker. All it takes is an email address and a smile. We hope you come and join us and get more involved and see what all the fun is about. So I think without any further ado, I want to say a big thank you to Garry Gates and all the other cool, fun folks over there at poker.org. Joseph Koulis, Chris Jones, Rob Washam, thanks for joining me in the booth here. Again, the Running Aces Hotel, Racetrack, and Casino. The YouTube chatters, my mom, Martha Reed, and you, the listeners. We couldn't do it without you. Thank you so much, and we'll see you again next week. All right, good night, everybody.